Well, you did tell me one time that somebody robbed you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I was alone in the store, like I always was. And at that time, the phone company used to have phones inside of establishments, you know. So this man came in one day and went into the phone booth and used the phone. And then he came out and he said that was Mrs. Barnes I was just talking to on the phone. And she told me that she wants you to give me $20 that she owes me. So me, innocent and believing anyone, I gave him the $20. So when they came into the store, Mr. and Mrs. Barnes, that day I told them what happened. And they were like, you know, shocked. So actually, that was pretty interesting because I gave somebody a description, and they captured this guy. He was probably going up and down Warren and hitting every store. So then I had to go one day they took me down, Mr. and Mrs. Barnes, to the police station, and I had to identify him. Yeah, so that was part of my education.
Okay, I remembered. You were telling me that your parents had a discussion about whether or not you should contribute any of your wages.
That's right.
Can you
Yeah.
say that?
Well, when I started working, you know, I told my parents everything, you know, that was going to transpire and my hours and all that, and how much I was going to make. I'll never forget this number, $7.20 a week for 7 days of work. And I don't know which one of my parents, you know, had the last say so, but I think it was my dad that said to my mom, they should let me keep all that money. You know, they shouldn't expect me to turn anything over to them. So that was fine. And then I eventually, I don't remember how long this was, but I did eventually go to the bank and open up an account. And
By yourself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you know, since we never had a car, we all became used to going walking to where we needed to go, or take a bus or a streetcar. So that was, you know, that was a no-brainer. Or the library. That was one of the first places that I went to, the library. So, yeah, it was an interesting period.
Yeah. You told me that about the library, that you learned like about the facts of life there, the birds and the bees. Can you talk about that? About how you would go there just to get information that you thought you needed but weren't learning at home?
Well, I don't remember that specifically, but I do remember looking up stuff in the dictionary. Mm-hmm. You know, I'd see a word. I read a word that sounded pretty interesting, you know, and I would look it up, and then that led me to another word, and that's where I learned the facts of life. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Mom, I'm going to go back to the cooking part. So you said that your mom did do all of the cooking, right?
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
And then did she have any specialties, or what do you remember her cooking?
Well, pasta, of course, and the sauce, and if we were lucky, she would let you dip a piece of bread in the sauce while she was cooking it. But, you know, of course that was prominent. But I remember that we had chicken often on Sundays, but would be baked chicken in the oven, you know. And I don't know, I learned a little bit about cooking from her, but not really that much because I was at Barnes learning how to do the ice cream thing. So, you know, actually when I got married, I didn't have much of a background in cooking. But I got, I think, 3 cookbooks for shower presents. So And I used them. I mean, I really taught myself to cook out of those cookbooks, and I always liked cooking, so that was good. Especially with having that many kids.
What is the fish dish that Uncle John always talks about?
The fish dish?
Bacala?
Well, that
Is
is
that what it's
that is a fish, and that you said it right, bacala. But we didn't like it, and it was like a specialty, you know. And I can't even remember how it was prepared. Probably just simmered, you know.
Okay. What about desserts? Did Grandma make desserts? Bake desserts?
Well, dessert usually meant cake, and you know, she would bake a cake occasionally, and it was sliced in very small slices. But we didn't have anything, or maybe she would make pudding, you know, the little box pudding. We loved that. That was special, even though we didn't realize how simple it was.
What was that? Uncle John was talking about that cake. Remember we found that recipe for the cake? It was a chocolate devil's food cake.
Oh, the one that was called Martha Washington Devil Food Cake. Well, I don't know where the heck that recipe came from, and I don't know if I ever made it myself, but he always remembered it. So I must, or she must, maybe my mom must have made it. Well, you know, she got recipes from Kamada Lou and Kamada Clotilde. Those were her two close friends. And so, and of course, they'd been here longer, especially Kamada Lou.
Did any of those guys bake? The Kamadas or
Yeah, they did.
Sia?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I wasn't lucky enough to be there on baking day.
So you didn't have the responsibility or the opportunity to teach your little brothers and sisters how to cook?
No, mm-mm. No. We did everything else. Lucy and I did all on the weekend. On Saturday, we had to dust all the furniture in the dining room and the living room and vacuum. Or carpet. Before we had a vacuum, we had just a carpet sweeper and a mop, you know, for the wood floors. So we had to do that every weekend. Yeah.
Okay, so how big was your house?
It was small.
What was?
It was a 3-bedroom ranch in the old part of Detroit, off of Warren and Cadillac. And it was 3 small bedrooms. And, you know, as the family grew, my dad got Lawrence Delara, who was, he was actually an engineer at Ford, and he was a very talented guy, and he knew how to build things. So they converted the attic, our attic, into a bedroom. And, you know, the stairway was way at the far end of the house. And, you know, you would just go up the stairway. And then they put the bedroom at the further end toward the street. And the reason for that was because they didn't, you know, they didn't get a what should we call it, heating company or anything. They just cut a hole in the ceiling, and the heat from the main floor rose up into the attic. That's really what it was, attic. So that's where we slept.
Who's we?
Well, first it was just me and Lucy, and then when more kids came along, it was me and Lucy and Linda, and that was all. I don't think the boys ever slept up there. Because, you know, as we got married, and of course we got married younger then nobody had to sleep upstairs, which was good news to everyone.
Did you and Lucy share a bed?
Oh yeah.
You guys were like twins in a lot of ways, weren't you? Weren't you really close growing up?
You know, we were, but I've thought of that a little bit, and I thought, well, you know, because of, you know, we were in different grades at school, just one grade apart, but we were never in school together, although we walked to school together with our friends Norma and Peggy, who lived down the street from us. You know, we had our own friends, kind of. And I mean, we always got along, well, mostly, you know, like any two sisters. But, you know, as we got older, and busier, and she was busy too. Now, I don't even remember, though, you know, much about her employment history.